Hello, hello, hello. Hi, let me introduce myself. My name is Matt, and I'm talking to you from the floor of my office in Ningbo, China. I'm actually getting quite nervous as the days progress because I'm about to start an epic adventure that's going to change my life. For the next 5 years, I'm going to zigzag around the globe. Just me, my camera, riding this trike. I'm going to bring it all to you via these videos. I hope that maybe you can become inspired, as I have become inspired, to take the first step towards risking it all to live the life of your dreams. This is Ningbo. It's a city on the east coast of China, south of Shanghai. It's been my home for the last 5 years, and it's going to be the starting point for my journey around the world. I've laid out a path that I would like to stick to as I travel around the world. I designed it so that I could cross through and check off most of the things I've ever wanted to do with my life, as well as see the places I've always wanted to see in my life, all in one 5-year swoop. On August 15th, I will head south. Moving along eastern China, I will head into the city of Guangzhou. From Hong Kong, I will re-enter China and continue south into Vietnam and cross into Laos. I'm really confident, probably the most confident, about Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand. These are countries that, as you live in China, you can travel to pretty easily. I've already planned that the time I spend there will be the winter, so I should have a pretty nice go of it. From Laos, I will head back into Vietnam and follow the east coast into Cambodia. Crossing into Cambodia, I'll move into Thailand, where I'll have to figure out a way in and around Myanmar. Now, Myanmar is a little bit tricky. They only allow visas to enter and exit certain areas, and certain areas in the country are off limits to foreigners. At the moment, I'm discussing with some people that work in tourism there to see if I can get special privileges and to get some counsel on how to get across that country. So far, it might actually happen. From Myanmar, I will enter India and make my way into Nepal, Kathmandu. Now, when I get to Kathmandu, I'll have to find a place to store the trike and move from cycle mode into climb mode. I've gathered together most of the technical high-altitude climbing gear, and it will be sent to me when I start my ascent. I've been training and preparing for the last 2 years. I've registered for the 2015 expedition, and I've budgeted the highest expense by far for this entire trip, all in hopes that for 5 minutes, I will be the tallest person in the world. Once that objective is accomplished, I head back into India, all the way down to Sri Lanka. Back into India, heading north, I ride into the country of Pakistan and then Iran. I'm excited about getting to Iran. I have a friend that lives there. I met him in China. He's going to give me a full tour of his country. He says it's gorgeous. From Iran, I move into Saudi Arabia via Dubai, attempting to find a yacht or ferry to make my way across the Persian Gulf. Crossing the Red Sea in a similar fashion, I will move into Africa and head north into Jordan, Lebanon, Israel, and even Syria if things have calmed down there. A boat trip to Cyprus and then to Turkey will give me entryway into Europe. Here it gets a little windy. I want to see and experience as many countries as I can, so my path will take a serendipitous route. Up through some of the Slavic countries and curving into and out of Ukraine and then down into Greece. I will be able to see much of this southeast region. From Greece, I travel to Italy over water, heading north through Italy up, 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 all the way to the top of Norway through Finland. Then I head south, down the eastern edge of Norway until I can find a fishing trawler or yacht to help me get to Iceland. Once I circle Iceland, I return to Norway with a stopover in the Faroe Islands. South through Western Europe, I will visit the makers of my trike, HP VELOTECHNIK, and then move into the UK, Ireland, France, and Spain. Crossing the Rock of Gibraltar, I re-enter Africa and begin my trek down the western edge of the African continent. Snaking my way down the country, I curve into Zambia to experience some of the wildlife and sit on the Victoria Falls. At the southern tip of Africa, I have to find safe passage across the ocean to the southern tip of South America. I'll venture to explore Antarctica before heading north. Back to South America, I'll be moving north through Chile to Santiago. At this point, I'll have to find a way to get east across the country, where I'll enter Uruguay and move north to Rio in Brazil. Heading west back across the continent, I'll move into Bolivia and then Peru, visiting Machu Picchu. North again into Central America, where I'll find my way into Mexico. It's here that I plan to base jump into a sinkhole called the Cave of Swallows, and I check another one off the bucket list. Moving north into the USA, I'll head up to New York, possibly ditching the trike for a long hike up the Appalachian Trail. Moving up the east coast into Canada, I'll explore the Canadian countryside and move west above my home state of Michigan. Entering Michigan from the north, I'll head to Detroit. I will say hi to my family and then continue across the states to end my journey in Los Angeles. Piece of cake, right? Okay, I know. Some of this is going to be difficult. Some of it might even be impossible, but it's a dream path. I learned a long time ago, in order to accomplish something big, you gotta dream big. This trip is about fulfilling life goals. It's about making my way through the world, all the while trying to make a positive impact on it. It's not a race. So I chose a pretty unique form of transportation to see it from. This is a trike. It's not your childhood tricycle, mind you. This is an adult machine, and it's going to take me around the world. To be honest, the idea of riding this around the world was a tough pill to swallow. It's a kind of a unique form of transportation. But as soon as I embraced the idea, the benefits became obvious. Three wheels give you added stability. The bike is always sitting in an upright position. You're not worried about leaning your bike against a tree or laying it on the ground. It's not going to tip over for you. This gives you the ability to ride up under a tree, chill out, relax, and take a nap if you had to. In a reclined position just like this, you take all the strain off of your lower back. Your arms are relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, and even those all-important man parts are not sitting on a wedge-style seat. And that's a huge benefit. When you arrive at a location and you can kind of dig in and start exploring right away instead of trying to recoup your body after a day's ride. The trike has multiple points of suspension. You have suspension for the two front tires, and you even have a spring that's loaded with a shock absorber on the rear tire. This provides you with an extremely comfortable and smooth ride. And of course, there's video. This is a really fantastic way of traveling around the world if you want to film and do documentaries. Not only do you have a lot of different points to mount the camera to, but because it's got three wheels, it's much more stable. Right now I'm riding
with no hands. I'm filming myself, and the footage will be pretty smooth because I've got shocks on all 3 wheels. It's almost like I have a camera dolly with full suspension to do whatever I want with anywhere around the world. Try this with a bicycle. Whoa. That's pretty neat.
Although a trike is not as small as a bike, it's still surprisingly portable. All the bags and base components are removable, and once you remove everything, the frame unlocks and can fold over on top of itself. Then, all you do is load everything onto the collapsed frame and pull it away. I flew all over the world shopping around for the highest quality trike in the industry, and I settled on an HP VELOTECHNIK. I actually traveled to their facility in Germany to build my world-conquering trike myself. Then I disassembled it and shipped it to China. In one of my future episodes, I'll actually go into a little bit more detail of the building of the trike in Germany. It's kind of an interesting story.
When you're riding a trike, you are really one with the world. Your body's powering it. There's no wall in between you. There's no door I can shut off to eliminate myself from being in the environment of the world. It's kind of sobering. It's like you are part of the adventure a little bit more than, say, if you were to bring a car. And having a trike is a little bit of an advantage over a bike. So it sounds like a win-win to me. This is not about getting from point A to point B. It's about the in-between. I'm gonna do some of the most amazing things that I can imagine, and I'm gonna add on some amazing things I can't imagine while I'm on the road. My trip is gonna take me through over 100 countries, through deserts and mountains and plains and across rivers and through cities. It's gonna expose me to cultures and people and places that I'm so excited to expose myself to. A lot of people ask me, why are you doing this? What's the meaning? What is the purpose? And the purpose is to experience life. I mean, isn't that what the most important thing is? You can sit behind a desk or you can go out and you experience the world. And for some people, sitting behind a desk is satisfactory for them, but not for me. I want to get out, and I've gotten that taste in my mouth of what the world has to offer. It's just a taste, but I want more. And I want to drink from the cup of life. I want to drink the fuel that is experiencing the world at its greatest points. That fuel that can make me love life even more. The mantra, the motto of my trip is JaYoe. In Chinese, Ja means add and Yo means fuel. It's a phrase that's chanted at people when they're trying to do something that they don't believe maybe they can do. You say, JaYoe, add fuel. Do the best you can, JaYoe. Well, for me, I am going to add that fuel to my life. And that fuel is in the form of all the traveling I'm going to do and all the people I'm going to meet. I am the personification of JaYoe, and my journey is in hopes of finding other people that have that same desire to add fuel to their life in some amazing way to enhance what they're doing. Whether it's the fisherman that is JaYoe doing the best he can, or the mountain climber that JaYoe is climbing the biggest mountain, or the swimmer that JaYoe is swimming across that ocean. I am going to expose myself to some of the most amazing people in all the parts of the world. And what's better than that, you know? On August 15th, 2014, I'm going to start my trip. One man, one world, no turning back. You're going to meet who I meet. You're going to see what I see. And hopefully, you can become inspired like I've become inspired. So get ready, get set, leave it all behind, and JaYoe.